Christopher Marlowe was born in Canterbury in 1564, 2 months before William Shakespeare. He studied at the University of Cambridge, and he moved to London in 1587, where he established himself as the most important playwright of the period. Evidence shows that he led a dissolute wild life. He was often involved in duels and was imprisoned at least twice, accused of murder and atheism. He lived in an age of Catholic versus Protestant political intrigue, and according to some documents, he was a very important secret agent of the Queen. He was fascinated by extremes like ambitions, unlimited desire, and a restless willingness to overcome human limits. Such are the passions that drive Faustus, the protagonist of his masterpiece, to sell his soul to Lucifer in exchange for knowledge and power. The truth behind Marlowe's sudden death in London tavern in 1593 still remains suspicious and unsolved. Despite his short, wild life, Marlowe wrote significant dramatic masterpieces: Tamburlaine the Great, Dr. Faustus, The Jew of Malta, and Edward II. His plays were the first to embody the true spirit of Renaissance, concentrating on man as opposed to God. The most important themes of this work are the lust for power, the desire to break free from the restrictions of the church, the limitations of knowledge, and the demands of ruthless ambition in the face of the morality, in the face of the prevailing morality. Marlowe's work also represents a departure from the didactic spirit of the medieval morality plays. These used invented plots and had characters personifying human vices and virtues. Marlowe's characters no longer personify virtues or vices, but they are instead enriched by man's passion and faults. Two of his plays, however, are very directly concerned with God, and these are Marlowe's most famous dramatic works, also perhaps his finest and most important. They are Tamburlaine and Dr. Faustus. Both are the works of an Elizabethan atheist who not necessarily denied the existence of God, but rejected churches and orthodox beliefs. Though Dr. Faustus is regarded as a morality play, it is different from the medieval Everyman, the most popular morality play, where death is the character, God is rigid and vindictive, and the only life possible to reach eternal salvation is the one leading to death. Faustus does not believe in predestination and in life after death. According to him, theology and philosophy, that is medieval and Renaissance thought, are too restrictive. Faustus views his pact with Mephistopheles as the only means to fulfill his ambitions. So it is very, very different from the medieval morality play. Faustus reflects the ambition and the restlessness of the Renaissance man, who is still linked to medieval culture but wants to be the maker of his own destiny. He is related both to Prometheus' myth of eternal dissatisfaction and also with the Icarus one of the overreacher, a man of great culture and ambition who is dissatisfied with his own situation and tries to increase his powers. In the first act, Dr. Faustus is presented as an acclaimed and respected scholar. So much he profits in divinity that shortly he was graced with doctor's name. However, that wasn't enough for Faustus, who wanted to govern nature and death through the power of necromancy. He challenged God and made a pact with Lucifer, selling his soul for 24 years of service from Mephistopheles. His punishment was to spend the rest of eternity in hell. The moral of his play is that ambition and dissatisfaction with what God has given is a terrible sin that can only lead to damnation. Faustus acquires the power he wanted, but at the end he can't use it to save himself from hell. So Marlowe's use of the soliloquy in this play is notable. It is a way of showing both sides of Faustus' character. This is not to say that Marlowe reached Shakespeare's perfection, but he certainly marked a transition from the medieval drama to the Renaissance. He improved the dramatic possibility of blank verse, unrhymed iambic pentameter, and was able to give life to his words. There is great energy and life in his use of color and description. Faustus is swollen with cunning and self-conceit. His waxen wings did mount above his reach. So, there are very few legends that have engaged the imagination as much as the one of the man who made a pact with the devil and sold his soul to obtain power, knowledge, and delight. So, the themes of Dr. Faustus is very, very important, say. One of the first stories about this famous figure is set in the city of Prague in the 16th century, where a student, Jan Stachny, in the translation of the Latin term Faustus, goes into a deserted house and comes across dusty books of alchemy and golden coin on a tray. So he decided to live there, and every morning he finds a new coin. He soon forgets his studies and starts to lead a dissolute life. Eventually, he sells his soul to the devil in return for knowledge. One day, he reveals his secret to some friends and promises them a lot of money. He then disappears mysteriously, and a hole covered in blood is found in his house. There was also a German necromancer and an astrologer called Faust, who lived in the 16th century and died under mysterious circumstances around 1540. Contemporary reports show that he was a man who excelled in the application of his knowledge, traveled widely, and was well known. In 1507, he was identified with a certain Georgius Sabellicus, who called himself Faust Junior. So he associated with students at Heidelberg, Ingolstadt, and Wittenberg. Even if he was never admitted to this university, he had such corrupting influence on the students that authorities were forced to expel him from their communities. After his death, documents, first in Latin then in German, celebrated his adventures, particularly those connected with magic. The Reformed clergy strengthened the widespread and popular belief in the devilish powers of the famous necromancer. In the first book about the Faustbuch, the anonymous author associated Dr. Faustus with the devil, in contrast with Dr. Luther, the man of God. The story was translated into different languages and developed through the centuries. So, these works generally aimed at amusing or educating the reader by focusing on the relationship between man and the occult. Faust embodied the conflict between the restraint imposed by the morality and individual will of self-assertion beyond humans' limitation. Man was likely to sign a pact with the devil, a common theme during the Renaissance, due to the anthropocentric view, which implied the hero's final defeat. So the English playwright Marlowe drew inspiration from the prose translation of the Faustbuch and wrote the tragical history of Dr. Faustus, where, together with traditional themes of ambition and magic, he dealt with the will to possess supreme beauty in the manifestation of Helen of Troy, thus anticipating the romantic tension towards the infinite.